Hello there. This video is all about the norming stage of Tuckman's team development model. This stage comes after the storming stage. If your team has been in the storming stage for some time now, you'll probably feel relieved that they're emerging on the other side and moving into this norming stage. In this video, you'll learn three things. Firstly, what the characteristics of the norming stage are, so that you'll recognise your team is moving into this stage. Secondly, what the main things are that the team should focus on during this norming stage, the things that need to be in place such that the team moves into the performing stage and doesn't just get stuck. Because your team won't automatically move into the performing stage. Some specific conditions need to be in place. And thirdly, you'll learn how you can be as the team leader during this stage. What kind of leadership styles would work best for you here? So let's start by looking at the norming stage in more detail then. You can tell you've arrived in this stage when you notice the following things. You'll see progress on results. Maybe not as much as you'd like, but progress nonetheless. The team members are having far less upsets and destructive conflicts. There's a better atmosphere. There's more acceptance. You as the team leader are getting challenged less. People are supporting you more. There's more alignment. You're regularly hearing words like pause button, feedback, team agreements, the iceberg model, and other phrases that you've introduced from this program. During team meetings, people are listening to each other far more, and they're asking more questions. You'll also start to notice the team members making more suggestions about how to make improvements. Things just feel a little easier, a bit more fluid. Now let's think about why you're seeing these things. What's happened so that the team is in this norming stage? Well, firstly, they've all experienced the emotional ups and downs of the storming stage together. Some have felt embarrassed when they've realised that they've overreacted and perhaps been aggressive. Others, who would normally be quiet, have risked speaking up and saying things that they needed to say. Some personal truths have been spoken. Those sensitive but very important issues have not been avoided. They've been openly discussed. It's felt uncomfortable at times, but you've stuck together and worked through those difficulties. Secondly, everyone knows a lot more about themselves and each other. Knowing more about themselves means they're far better at managing their own behaviours. And knowing more about each other, far more than they would normally know about their work colleagues, means that they understand why their teammates behave in the way that they do. They also like each other more and have greater trust for each other. And thirdly, they're starting to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, a group of people that they like, that they feel some affection for, and that they want to continue to spend time with, to achieve something significant with. They've emotionally invested themselves in this group of people. Now then, what things does the team need to put in place such that they increase their chances of moving into the performing stage? Like I said, you won't automatically move into that performing stage, and it won't just happen by accident. There are some specific conditions that need to be present for that to happen. Feedback needs to be happening very regularly, both spontaneously in the moment and also more formally as a team. If you're not noticing team members giving each other regular, high-quality feedback, and you yourself are not asking for and giving feedback regularly, then very simply your team won't move into the performing stage. Feedback speeds up the learning cycle, and performance only improves when we learn more. Team problem solving needs to be very effective. This looks like coming together as a group to work on each other's problems and issues that need to be solved. It looks like lots of listening and asking great questions. It looks like offering support to each other and then actually following up with that support. People are asking for help in this way from the team. They're not just keeping things to themselves. Also, each individual needs to feel like they're developing some real competence in their particular area of expertise, that they're learning, growing and developing both personally and professionally. And the team's expectations need to have been raised. They want to do more, be more and achieve more. Their level of inspiration and motivation needs to have increased to the level that it's almost self-sustaining. You're no longer trying to push or even pull them along. The team's just moving by itself. But you do need to have done a little nudging to get them to this point through this norming stage. On that point, let's now talk about you and your leadership during the norming stage. What would be the best way for you to lead during this stage? Well, let's think about it. During the forming stage, you were quite directive. During the storming stage, you were quite facilitative, but also quite challenging at the same time. Now, during the norming stage, it's probably best for you to be a bit more like a coach and a delegator, a bit more hands-off, certainly not micromanaging. Most importantly, that is if you do want the team to get to the performing stage, it's a good idea for you to not get complacent, to not think that you've arrived and things will just be easy from now on. Remember, the storming stage is right behind you, and it won't take much for the team to slip back into that stage. So remain aware, remain awake. Don't forget your team agreements. Don't forget to ask for and give feedback, and keep planting those high-performance seeds, planting possibility and raising the bar. Remember, your team won't automatically move into the performing stage, but they could slip back into the storming stage. So if your goal really is to create a high-performance team, then this is where you need to pay attention and do those things that have been suggested here. Imagine that the norming stage is about continuing to embed the good habits that the team has already learned, adding a few more high-performance behaviors and embedding those too, and practicing all of them again and again, such that all those habits are just the way the team works. That's the way you do things. When this is the case, you'll be ready to move into the performing stage. Next to this video are some activities that I strongly recommend you do with your team to embed those additional few high-performance behaviors. If you know that they're in the norming stage, then please start doing those activities as soon as possible. Not in a month's time when things have quietened down, but right now. They're not extra things for you to do. They're just things that will help you do what you already are doing, but in a new way. And anyway, by now your team is used to you introducing new ideas and processes, so it shouldn't take much convincing on your part. Just send them an email, tell them you'd like to try out some new ideas, and you'd like everyone to meet up tomorrow or the day after for an hour or two to do this. Easy. So please have a look at those activities now. Each one has a facilitator guide to show you exactly what you need to do. Lastly, I acknowledge you for coming this far. Getting through the storming stage I know is difficult. Well done you for making that happen. So take a breath, pat yourself on the back, and then get into those activities for the norming stage. And when those new behaviors are embedded and happening all by themselves, that's when your team is starting to transition into the performing stage. And that's when things start to get truly life-changing. So I look forward to seeing you there. Good luck.